we had talked a little bit the other day about some triggers that sometimes happen. I think it happens to all of us. Certain things that trigger
Right.
anxiety. And when you were telling me that it was the paperwork for you,
Yes.
was
The
that
paper.
just in the first like few months after, or is that it's still going on? Like you still randomly get that a letter in the mail and then it just kind of throws you off?
Yeah. Uh, in the very beginning, yeah, it was like the stacks and stacks of paperwork because I'm getting paperwork from his job, even though he worked for the VA. I'm getting paperwork from the government from just for the Army sides. I was getting paperwork from my job. I was getting paperwork, having to deal with Social Security. Um, oh Lord, what else? Like having to deal with all of like the bank stuff, dealing with our house, selling the house. Um,
Yeah.
just anything that came, it was just this overwhelming sense where I would just start freaking out. And it got to the point to where I had to stop looking at the paperwork. And when we were coming down here to file for, all of the like life insurance and everything else, all with me, and I had my dad go through it so that I made sure I didn't miss anything. Because like I don't think people realize, like, when you're going through all of this grief, your body is here, but your mind is not. And so when you're going through all of this paperwork, it's kind of like you're not even focusing on it. You see the words on the paper, but you don't even know what it is that you're signing or if you're doing something even correctly. And so I had to have my dad go through it because I'm like, I don't know what I'm reading. It's plain English. Like if I look at it now, I'll be like, oh yeah, I know what that says, I can read it. But during that time, it was like I was speaking a whole like foreign language. And I'm just like, I guess that's his name. Wait, whose birthday is supposed to go here? What social security number? That like you just like you know what it is that you're doing. You just kind of like aimlessly feel stuff out. And if it's right, you're like, if it's right, it's right. If it's wrong, I really don't fucking care. Like that's the point to where you get to. And you're so accustomed to writing things over and over and over again that it's just like you're a zombie doing it. And so you have to have somebody else go over all of that stuff. Otherwise, they're gonna send you a heaping more things of paperwork to fill out to correct what it is that you did. There was a lot of times I had to re-email somebody back and be like, I'm sorry, but I don't know what it is I sent to you. Hopefully it's correct. If not, just let me know. Like,
I
because
know.
you don't know. Like and then you start panicking. You're just like, I don't want to sign my name again.
I
Like,
know.
like they just need to, as soon as somebody passes away, they just need to give the spouse a stamp that's like a legal binding stamp so that you can just take it and just do this to every single piece of paper because you're going to be signing your name for the longest time ever.
I know. I know. You're talking about this and it's bringing up some memories for me because I remember there was this one day that we left and same thing with my dad. He was my advocate. He was the one that was reading all of the details because I could not understand the words on the paper. But yeah, we walked out of the attorney's office and I went to get in my car and I just started bawling, crying, like just crying in the parking lot. And he was like, what's going on? I said, I just don't understand. I just don't understand what is happening. What did I just sign? What is going on? Like I had no idea what was happening. It's just an awful feeling,
Yeah, it's
like
a whole out of body
it
experience. Like,
is.
yeah, you're there, but you're not there.
And another one for me, another trigger day for me was, oh my God, I remember having an okay day, and then I got the death certificate in the mail.
Yep.
It just like showed up one day and I just, going through the mail, I see this letter and then I opened it up and I just, again, that was a horrible trigger moment for me. It's the paperwork. It's the paperwork that gets you.
It's mine also was like, I never felt that his death was 100%.
Yeah.
I always still felt like he was going to walk through the door at any moment, just randomly, and be like, hey, what's up? And you'd be
Yeah.
like, wait, like,
Yes. Like it's not
you're still you're
real.
still waiting for that moment, even with having the death certificate and
Yeah.
having the ashes. You're still waiting for that moment, for that person to like randomly pop up somewhere mysteriously and be like, oh, what have you guys been doing?
I know.
I mean, if that was to happen, I would probably shit my pants and probably freak out and faint and whatever else. But like
I
waiting
definitely
on
had
that
those moments
moment
too.
of like that shock, like
For a long time, I felt that. I'm like, he's just gonna walk in like any second now, you know. Just your mind just like plays these tricks, right? Um, so what do you do like when you have those anxiety moments? Like what kind of helps you calm down or get out of it or pull yourself out of it? Like what is kind of a trick for you? Do you have one?
medication,
What is it?
medication.
Medication. Okay.
Yeah. Like I had to, because it got so bad that I had to go and see a doctor about getting something to help keep me calm,
Yeah.
because I would go from like 0 to 100 where I would be fine 1 second, and then all of a sudden I'm like on the bathroom floor about to puke my guts out and crying and not knowing why. So it was
Yeah.
like I had to find something to help balance me out, because that teeter totter was not cool.
No, I know. I know. So that
I'm in the middle of driving, having a panic attack and not knowing why. Like you're driving your car, there's nothing around that should be causing any type of trigger, but then all of a sudden you can't breathe, you're hot, you're like, let me roll down the windows and turn the air conditioning on full blast because you're sweating, freezing cold at the same time. And then you got to pull over and lay down and take deep breaths to try to like get your body to calm down. And then you got to do that like every mile. You got to keep pulling over until you get to your destination, or you got to call someone to come pick you up because you're like, I can't drive, like
yeah.
this is not working for me.
No, I know. I know. And you and I had talked and just to let the listeners know, Alana is a life coach and she has been a life coach for a few years. So she has a lot of tools and a lot of the knowledge and the skills of how to cope and get through things. And I just wanted to let everyone know that this is grief, you know, this is, she's still struggling. So that was just something that I just wanted
Yeah,
to.
it's never ending. Hold on, I'm going to read this to you. So I found this picture because through our Facebook memories, and we're always like looking at things that we post. And let me see if I can find it real quick. And I wrote like, just to, from one of my coaching moments, I wrote, during traumatic experiences, we are all so busy being strong that we forget to experience our emotions. Your emotionless self is what's holding you back. And when I read that yesterday, I was like, you know what? During that whole entire time, we're experiencing all of this. We're so busy trying to get everything done, and we don't really get to live the grief process. I know for a fact I didn't get to live the grief process until literally just like a couple months ago, because of all of the phone calls and text messages, all of the interviews, all of the stuff that was going on.
Yeah.
You Me trying to sell the house, me trying to get Bryce into school, us moving to another city, us buying a new house and moving again, just trying to figure out, my own emotional fluctuations, because, know, I can't figure out which way is up, and trying to homeschool him at the same exact time. So I never got a chance to just sit and be with my emotions like a normal widow does. You know, most times people have those free moments to themselves after the funeral. I never had a funeral. Most people get a chance to sit with themselves after everyone has gone away and gone back to their normal lives. Well, my life never went back to normal because of the pandemic.
Oh.
You know, so everything was just not in I guess a normal roundabout way of how to go with it, because you know everyone's had these from day one of normal grieving, these step-by-step things of what to do. But when you
Yes.
add in the, it throws it into like a tornado, and you don't know what's going to come flying out at whatever time at you. So I never got to sit with my emotions and figure out, you know, how I felt, what it is I'm going on, because you know I'm also trying to deal with Bryce's emotions and what he's going through. And you know we're still trying to figure that part out. And it's just, you know, that trauma within itself was nothing that anybody could ever prepare for.
No. No.